everyone, it's Jason, and welcome to an unboxing for Final Girl, the solo horror survival game. This is a special little set. This is Terror from the Grave, a Vignette expansion. So what the Vignette expansions are they're little tiny, just small expansions of having the full big box with everything else. They're just these little tinier boxes. But what they do is they just have a special type of killer and no location. And then they're used with every other... They can be mixed and matched into any other location like any other killer would be. But they're usually representing more of a... Instead of a solo killer, they're representing a theme or a group of killers. So this one being Terror from the Grave is, if you can't tell already, is zombies. So instead of having like a solo... like one person hunting you down, we have a horde of zombies coming at you. Now, again, always to know with these, you have to have the core set to play this. But as an addition, you also have to have at least one feature film, because you need at least one location to play these at. Then you can, again, add these into any other location. Obviously, having zombies attack, the campgrounds from Happy Camp Trails, versus having them attack the asylum or the space station, or going back in and attacking the house from Maple Lane. It's going to have lots of different implications and be some interesting scenarios. So we have a couple of different things in here to look through. First of all, we have our terror deck, of course. We have a bunch of tokens to represent our zombies, which we'll look at those in a minute. We have a special Bloodlust track. I'm going to back this up just a tad. So the zombies will get a special, because they don't have a board, so they'll have a special dual card Bloodlust track. They will have their Finale and Dark Power cards, but again, because they don't have a picture on the board to lay them on, they're named on there, but they'll have the same idea. We will have one brand new Final Girl for this, which is really cool. Plus, we have a special vehicle action deck, which will represent all the vehicles from Series 1 and Series 2. Now, Series 3 will eventually... I think they're added in the stretch goal, so they might be coming out in one of the other boxes. I don't remember which one. We'll look at that when I get to Series 3, but they will eventually add those as well, so that way you have access to those. So what is our story for this game? You'd never believed it if you weren't the first at the cemetery when it happened, when the first rotting fish punched you the topsoil, and you and the others at the funeral you were attending started looking around for cameras. This must be a prank, you thought, but the more emerged and the dead were coming out of the ground all around you. When the priest let out a scream, you turned to see your dead uncle biting and pulling him into his own freshly dug grave. At that moment, you realized the dead had truly risen. Awesome. So you can be used with whatever else. So what else do we have in here? We have Terror from the Grave, a little hand icon. I watched in horror as I surrounded my brother. His screams will be forever etched in my mind. Sister to a zombie. So Terror of the Grave, there's its thing. So this is the horde rings in here are used for optional miniatures, which are sold separately. So, alright. Additional setup here. We'll try and go through this. A little bit smaller rule book. There are no killer board. Instead, align and place the two Bloodlust cards next to the location board. Place the Bloodlust marker on the starting space of the Bloodlust card. The horde level starts at 4. There is no killer placed during the setup. Instead, place one zombie on each exit space on the killer's starting space. If there's only one exit, place one zombie. There are 2 on the killer starting space and 1 on an item area of your choice, because there are a couple of maps that only have 1 exit. Place 1 horde token on the face down Dark Power card. Then place the other zombies and horde tokens on the space below the blood track. Take the 4 vehicle tokens and shuffle them face down, thus evenly distributing them face down to the exit spaces. Odd amount of spaces, distribute the extras on the farthest space from your starting point. Only 1 space, distribute the 3 other tokens in spaces the vehicles might thematically occupy. So there's probably not going to be a vehicle like in the bedroom of a house necessarily, but there's going to be one out on the road. idea like that. How you win. The win conditions are different for this expansion. You must kill all zombies and hordes. When there are no zombies or hordes on the board, the game immediately ends in victory. So you could end this very early, or you could be struggling at the end of the game. So how you lose. You lose immediately if there are 3 hordes in play, or the fourth one would be created, or you die. Zombies are represented by tokens and considered minions. Per the core rulebook. So they have 1 health, 1 movement, and 1 attack, 1 damage. Spawning zombies. When you see this symbol, hazard toxic symbol, spawning number of zombies is indicated by the current bloodlust level. Place 1 zombie at a time until the number of spawned zombies indicated has been placed. Each time a zombie is placed on an exit space with the least number of zombies on it, if multiple spaces are tied for the least, start with the furthest one from you. Zombie movement. Zombies will move. Zombies use normal targeting rules for movement with one exception. If a zombie does not have enough movement to get to its target, it will instead panic. This means if there is no valid target within range of the zombie, it will shamble 1 space in a random direction. Important, zombies are slow. They will only move once during the killer phase, such as zombies ignore all boot icons on terror cards. Zombie attacks. Zombie attack is a group attacking 1 target in their space, dealing damage equal to the number of zombies in the space. Always prioritize victims over the final throw if both are in the same space. Important, anytime a victim is killed by a zombie attack, replace a victim with a zombie token. Increase bloodlust as usual. Interesting. So we have hordes. There are 3 horde tokens with a symbol that match one of the victim holding boards. If there are 3 or more zombies in a space, at the end of the killer phase, they become a horde. Place all zombies in a space with a horde token. If there's a first horde created using the horde token or the dark power token, reveal the dark power. Give the horde health equal to the number of zombies that formed the horde. Always use at least 3. Use health markers are indicated in the multiplier tokens if needed. Put them in the holding board. Keep track of how many health tokens a horde has. A horde does not use final health tokens. Okay, cool. So actually the board's going to be 4. So, like, as soon as there's 3, you're going to have 3 tokens on. So you're just more or less just keeping track of the health rather than putting extra zombies on there. A horde is considered a killer for all purposes. Target and movement roll. Victims will not fall in your space. Okay, so zombies are minions, but hordes are now killers. Interesting. The zombie rules do not apply to it. The term killer refers to all hordes except for the special effect markers you place or moving the killer somewhere. In this case, just choose one of the closest hordes to the destination and apply its effect. Horde movement and attack values are on the bloodlust track. When a victim is killed by a horde, the horde's health is increased by 1. Hordes have no upper health limit and will always gain health for health effects. A horde always remains a horde. It is ever not disbanded back to a single zombie when its health drops below 3. Interesting. So you can't, like, kill a horde, and then unless you kill a horde, you're not going to be able to, like, just drop it down to 2. No, so now it's not a horde anymore. A horde moves in a single unit if it's ever shared space with zombies. The zombies are moved from the board and the health of the horde is increased by 1. Multiple hordes may share 1 space but do not combine. Any effects that let you kill X zombies can instead be read as deal X damage to a horde. Interesting stuff. Special vehicle rules. Each location has 1 vehicle that has a special action card when using this Vignette expansion. Ignore the normal rules for the cards for such vehicles. If the vehicle card item card appears, replace it with a random item card from out of play. The vehicle may be found in one of the exit spaces. When you enter a space for the first time, reveal all vehicle tokens there. If there's a wheel, reveal it. Move all vehicle tokens from the board and place that specific vehicle token in space. Exception: if a vehicle is a waterbound vehicle, place it at the closest available space instead. Then take a vehicle action card associated with that vehicle from your hand. For the rest of the game, the card is functioning as normal. Going back to the tableau. So this is kind of neat. So it turns the vehicles, instead of just doing whatever they normally do on their item card, into special actions. If a vehicle action card has a wheel on it, it means you do not need to be in a space as a vehicle to resolve the card because it has their own pilot or driver. If it does not have that icon, the vehicle Action card can only be used in the same space as the vehicle. When moving with a normal action card like walk or sprint, if you're at the vehicle, you may move the vehicle with its rules. Okay, and then the bottom down here is going to go through all the different vehicles. We'll look at that if we need to when we get there. So let's look at our tokens here quick. So we're going to have a couple of boards here. They're going to show all of our different tokens here. So, oh, I changed my camera on myself. All right, so yeah, here we go. As we have the multiple zombies. We have 2 vehicle tokens. So we have an X and a wheel. We have a health token that's ×2, and then we have a horde token with a ring around it. So if you're using the miniatures, you can then put this ring around the miniature so you know which one it is. Or around the horde token as it is right there, so you know which one. This is the blue one, this is that. But that's why it pops out like that. It's kind of neat. So on the back of the wheel and the X have vehicles, so we know they're vehicles. Then we get another set with a bunch of horde, the diamond. And then we're gonna get the one with the moon. So if sorry. I'm just gonna grab the miniatures quick. Now again, these are not part of the set, but I just kind of wanted to show off what the miniatures look like. So we would have a horde miniature, just say horde on it. So then what you would do with these rings is you could just leave it sit on top if you wanted to, or you could pop this out and then that will sit around there as well. That way you can kind of know which one's which. And you can always pop this back in for when you're playing the game, so that way you know which one's which. Otherwise, it does have the little symbol on there as well, so it's kind of either way you want to do this. And then we have all the little zombies as well. And I do have the unboxing for the miniatures, so you can check that out with that video. I'm not going to go over all of those now. I just wanted to show you. So we have a pile of those, and there are a total of 15 different miniatures on there. Because their whole goal is to try not worry about taking over every space on the board, but they want to keep combining and making bigger and bigger hordes. So as you have, well, if you have 5 zombies and this horde keeps moving around, it's going to keep adding these guys to it, and it's not going to care. But eventually, you're going to have 3 hordes, and you're going to lose the game. All right, so we have our Bloodlust track. So let's start at the bottom here. So we have a list of zombies. So all zombies have attack equals 1 damage, movement 1, health 1. So they're very easy to kill. But you just gotta actually hit them. Zoom back out. I don't know why I have such a glare right now. There we go. So starting horrors 4, and then it just says that's what they do is they move 1, 1, 1. They spawn. They do 2 damage once they go up, and then they spawn. Then eventually they go up to 3 and 4, and then if we get the top half of the card, draw an event, 4, 4. So they can go up to 6 damage. They can eventually move 2. And then they have, again, this zombies are only going to have this. This amount here is for the horde. Discard a character card and add 1 health to each horde. So the hordes can actually gain more and more attack and more speed and all that stuff, and they'll spawn more. Yes, that's pretty cool. Alright, so what do we have for our finale cards? We have our finales here. So when they're just zombies, they'll have move and spawn, so they're not attacking at all. When they become a killer, then they get target, move, and attack. And then if we flip them over, their numbers are endless. Move all zombies before resolving, and then move and attack again, and then target, move, and attack. There is an enemy in your space at the end of action and lose health. Cool. They've all been bitten. Move all zombies before resolving attacks. Move zombies, attack. So it says, don't just move one, attack, move one, attack. Move everybody, then do your attacks. When this card resolves, replace each remaining victim on the board with a zombie. There are no victims spawn. And then we have, I'm overwhelmed. Same thing for those. When this card is revealed, place your final health token with a white final health token. Oh, great. So you don't even get a potential chance to get more health or anything. Alright. Then our dark powers, which will unlock. Which I think you unlock as soon as you get your first horde. So this will unlock kind of quick. We have runners. Zombies are no longer ignore foot icons on tarot cards. When resolving actions on a tarot card, always move all zombies before resolving attack. Oh boy, so they're going to move all over the board. The Legion. When spawning zombies, spawn one additional zombie in the exit space nearest you. And Super Horde. The Horde moves onto a space with another Horde. Merge them into one Horde, combine their health. If any Horde ever has 12 or more health, you immediately lose the game. Oh, that's nuts. I mean, one helpful thing of that is because if you only have to have 4 Hordes on the board and you lose the game, this could maybe like, oh, I have 3 and I have to go at the 4th one. Well, 2 could combine together, giving you an extra chance to get one. But you also have to make that guy's going to be a lot harder to defeat. Interesting. Alright, so let's look at our tarot cards, see what they're going to bring for us. So we have 2 copies of They're Coming to Get You. Target 1, attack, and do a horror. 2 copies of There's No More Room in Hell. Gain a horror. There's at least 1 horde in the play. Panic all victims. There's dead people everywhere. Target and attack. There was 2 hordes in play. Double horror. 2 copies of Don't Forget a Double Cap. Zombieland reference. Target and move and then panic all victims. 2 copies of I'm the Meek and a Zombie Sandwich. Target and then attack. If there's at least 1 horde in play, up horror. I'm surrounded. Move, target and then move. At least 2 hordes in play, up 2 horror. 3, 4, 5 copies of They Just Keep Coming, which is a spawn card. And always remember, you're mixing these in with the location deck as well, so you're not going to be drawing these constantly. Then we do have Minor Dark Power. Mom, is that you? The victim would panic, instead move it towards the closest enemy. When a zombie or one horde have been killed and placed on this card, remove this card from the game. So this is interesting. So instead of having it be like where they gain extra health and you have to take the health on here, this stays until you kill 3 zombies. It's basically the same idea. It's 3 health, but instead you put the guys on here to show that they've been taken out. That's pretty cool. Alright, then let's look at our final girl. We have Patsy. She says, move 1 space, minus 1 horror, plus 3 time. Ooh, that's nice. And gain a health. Her ultimate ability is going to be, once per action, you may spend 2 time to deal 1 damage to an enemy in your space. The killer cannot lose its final health as a result of this. Interesting. So, like, this is probably really good in here, because you just spend 2 time, which is a lot to take out 1 guy, but it's better than having to roll for a minor weak action, or I guess if you have, like, an item that'll let you do it, that's great too. But yeah, rather than having to keep spending an action card constantly to attack, this way, yeah, just let you, boom, take out this guy, boom. So it's helpful if you have a lot of minions, just to take them out without having to even worry about rolling dice. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Again, it'd be very interesting to play against other guys. Like, say you're playing against, I'm going to just reference the base one, is like Hans. Just be able to stand there and like, oh, I have 6 action. You can do 3 damage to him, right? But it's once per phase. Again, you can't do it constantly, but it could be very, very good to be like, I can afford to spend 2 points to hit them and then run, or run to their space, hit them, then run back out. Like, it could give you some cool options. Awesome. Then the last one we have, which is very neat, is the Vehicle Action deck. So we're going to give these action cards for each vehicle. So we have the motorboat from Happy Camp Trails. Says may only be used in the center from the center of the lake. On 2 successes, all victims and all zombies kill all victims and all zombies in the target space. 1 action or 1 success, all kill victims and up to 2 zombies in target space, or in lose time, or just lose time. Looks like the groundkeeper was fishing with dynamite again. Oh, okay, so that makes more sense. I thought maybe you're like running them over at the boat, chopping them up in the motor. But that's kind of neat. So it's like, hey, it gives you a little bit extra use for the boat other than like moving around the board and stuff. We have the helicopter, which is part of Creek Manor. Not the station helicopter, not the station 2891. It'd be kind of nice on some of these little references. This does have the pilot icon. It says, move the helicopter 2 spaces. Kill all victims and zombies in both spaces. Move it 1 space, kill all victims and zombies in just the helicopter space, or move 1 space, remove the helicopter car from the game and kill all zombies and victims in its space. Interesting. So it's kind of like, if you just tilt down about 45 degrees and keep the blades out a few feet off the ground like this. So it's kind of like just sneaking out and hitting with the blades. So either you can hit both of them, or take them like running shot to hit one, or the last one is they just crash and burn, which is kind of funny. So the Sacred Grounds just doesn't actually have a vehicle item. It's just kind of neat. Only when using the Sacred Groves. We have the cable cars. Move directly from one edge of space to another. No roll required. The only thing worse than being up here is seeing what's happening down there. That is neat as well. Okay, I do want to point this out. So we do have like the motorboat here. We got some extra rules here. It says, with the motorboat, you may move 1 space or travel with any other space boarding water or to the center of the lake. This is literally the center of the lake, which is treated as a space. It is differently from the space labeled lake on the board. Victims may follow you as normal unless you're in the center of the lake. You're considered to be a space the motorboat is touching, even if on the boat. All spaces bordering the water, the entire lake may be targeted using its action. So yeah, you kind of still use it to move around. For Carnival of Blood, we have the golf cart. Double success for the rest of the action phase. Each time you move into a space with a zombie, deal 2 damage plus damage modifiers from a one-handed weapon. Cool. Just shooting out with your weapon. 1 success for the rest of the turn, deal 1 damage and plus damage modifiers from a one-handed weapon. And none if you're in a space with a horde. Remove this card from the game. Otherwise, no effect. Just make sure to leave room to maneuver. Victims may not drive the golf cart, but may follow you as normal. Not subject to normal restrictions, you may drive it into all... It is not subject to the normal restrictions, you may drive it to all spaces on the board. I think otherwise you can only keep it on the outside track. This is letting you drive it into the middle of the carnival. For Maple Lane, we have the police car. May not be played if the police car is in a space with a horde. Move the car 3 spaces, roll a die, and deal that much damage to each zombie in each of those spaces. Move the top 2 spaces, roll a die, and deal that much damage to a zombie in the car spaces. Roll 1, deal damage to a zombie in the space. Officer Tap is having way too much fun. So normally, the car is used to just drive across the board from one side to the other, rescuing anybody as he's going through town. Here's letting you actually keep him running up and down the board. The only move in the street spaces, has a driver, and does not need to be used as a vehicle action card. So yeah, this can just be running. You can play this and you can be driving up and down the road. Rather than rescuing victims, he's taking out zombies. The super loader from USS Conrad may not move through maintenance shops. Makes sense, it's a big giant vehicle. Add +1 to each move and 1 damage to each attack for the rest of the action phase. Add 1 success, add +1 to each movement phase, or add +1 to each attack. At 0 successes, add 1 +1 to your next move action, add +1 to your next attack action. Okay, so the first one does both for the entire action phase. The next one you get to choose which one. The last one just does one extra. Case metal, you dead bastards. We have the Ski Dozer from Station 2891. Move 1 space, kill all zombies. Lose a time, move 1 space, kill 3 zombies. -1 time. Or move 1 space, kill 1 zombie, minus time. Hey, at least you always get to do something. Become with the snow, motherfuckers. Ski Dozer may only move outdoor spaces adjacent to the lab, and there are no zombies in your space. You may place the whole token for -2 time. So they do keep some of the regular rules around. We get 2 copies of this scooter. I don't know if that was intentional. For Wingrid Cottage. Scooter may only move on outdoor spaces. The victims may follow you as normal. Move 1 space. No roll required. If you move into a space with a horde, remove this card from the game. They're slow. I can just scoot on by. Interesting. So it just gives you an additional quick way to get around the board. Extra movement. That's pretty nice. We have 2 copies of the Raft for Storybook Woods. Double success. Move to the next raft spot. Kill 2 zombies in each space next to the river segments through it. Move to the next one. Kill 1 zombie in each space next to the river segments move through. Or move to the next one. Kill 1 zombie in a river space the segment move through. Interesting. So kill less and less. Oh, it looks like the hunter outfitted his raft with crossbows. Okay, cool. That's what you're doing. And then finally, we have 2 copies of the Gurney, which is a blue card. This is for the Wolf Eyes Asylum. So it says, roll 2 successes, ignore all damage, and kill 1 zombie. Roll 1, reduce it by 1, kill 1 zombie, or just reduce damage by 1. This should keep some distance between me and those things. Gurney may move with you anywhere on the board, so you can move this around with you. But yeah, basically you're just using it to take out guys. I think before you usually like push it down the hallway and do damage to guys. So now instead instead of pushing it away from you, you're using it as like a defensive item. So that's actually pretty fun. Now, could you add these into any other game and obviously just swap these out for your item cards? Absolutely. There's nothing that says you can't. Rules, again, don't say that you're supposed to do that. But again, this is a solo game. So you're not sitting there trying to like compete against other people or making it unfair because you're doing something they can't do, or oh, I have this expansion, you don't have this, unless you're comparing like times or rules or something like that. And then secondly, it's like it might be fun, might be interesting, might make the game, either change the game a little bit by adding these action cards to any of the other things. You could add them in addition to their regular abilities, although I think for the most part they do the same things. Or it could make the game a little bit easier, which, hey, if you're having a difficulty time, there's no reason to not make the game easier for yourself. You can enjoy it. Cool. So that's what we have for Terror from the Grave. Which all fit right back in this box. And then there is actually a spot in the storage box for this as well. Since it doesn't have the full big box, it does go in one of the small boxes. So you can check out that video on the storage box to see where those go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit me up in the comments if you'd like to see other games, more Final Girl stuff, specific things. And also check out my gameplay channel, as I'm going to try and do some more videos of this game. See you guys later. Bye.